also known as Player 222, is a character in the second and third season of Squid Game. We are introduced to her in the first episode of season 2, where she is in the waiting room of the gynecologist trying to call her ex-boyfriend, a character we saw in the previous scene playing Dakji with the recruiter. It was then revealed that Junhee herself had been given a business card and was likely considering joining the games as well. Season 2 of Squid Game, though not as widely loved as the first, was still a huge success, and Junhee, who was played by actress and singer Jo Yuri, quickly became a fan favourite. Audiences, including myself, sympathised with this young mother-to-be who joined these games to earn money to give herself and her child a financially stable future. Junhee seemed to me like wasted potential. I say this because she was a great foundation for a character, and I was genuinely looking forward to finding out more about her. A young pregnant woman with no parents, abandoned by her ex-boyfriend who had gotten her to invest in a crypto scam which left her in debt. Then, despite voting to leave, she was forced to participate in these cruel, twisted, deadly games for the entertainment of the VIPs. After watching both seasons 2 and 3, I couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't given much thought during the writing process, especially given the fact that she was a main character. I wouldn't really have a problem with her lack of personality or development if she was simply on the sidelines, but she's literally on the protagonist's team. She was also one of the few people shown before the games, along with Myung-gi, Gyeong-suk and Noel, more commonly known as Soldier 11. As a character, Junhee felt very one-dimensional. She felt bland, especially compared to other fleshed-out characters who were exceptionally written, particularly those in Season 1 where every character was graced with world-class writing. They were each given intriguing backstories and such unique personalities that even if I disliked a character, I could still appreciate how well they were written and how they added something of value to the story. The biggest gripe I had about Junhee's character when watching Season 2 was that she seemed to be nothing more than a prop for other, more relevant characters to help and give food to. As opposed to being a character simply in her own right, I couldn't help but feel like Junhee only existed to be protected by others. I have nothing against characters protecting or helping those weaker than them. I actually think when done right it helps the players grow closer together. We see this in Season 1 when Gi-eun is adamant about ensuring the safety of Il-nam. In Season 2, Semi, a confident, brave character, takes a shy, slightly awkward Min-soo under her wing. Young-shik protects his elderly mother Gyeom-ja. Well, kind of. There are several examples, but the difference between those protected characters and Junhee is that Junhee kind of just exists. The other players I've mentioned are given great storylines and face interesting moral dilemmas. What bothered me about Junhee in Season 2 was that she didn't seem to be given any real personality. It felt like her pregnancy was the only thing defining her. This is a shame because a character can be pregnant while also having other interesting storylines. A common theme I've noticed throughout movies and TV shows is when a woman becomes pregnant, she's reduced to simply the pregnant one. It's like she's unable to have any other storyline or even conversation that doesn't revolve around her pregnancy. I recently finished Season 1 of Lost and I found Claire to be another example of this trope. I'm not saying that Junhee's pregnancy should be ignored. It certainly puts her at an immense physical disadvantage in these games and that should be acknowledged. But it shouldn't be the only thing defining her. It's not like the moment a woman conceives, her personality goes flying out the window. Although I enjoyed Season 2 a lot, I was left feeling quite underwhelmed and disappointed with how Junhee's character was written. I found her lack of personality to be not only a letdown but also quite surprising given the fact that she was a main character. She was also one of the few people featured on the vast majority of promotional posters, leading me to believe that she would serve a more prominent role in Season 2. Despite my disappointment, however, I still held out hope that the writing would do her character justice in the final season. It didn't. Junhee gave birth to her daughter in Season 3 during Hide and Seek. And Netflix. We need to talk because what the feck is that? You're telling me that with their massive budget they couldn't have achieved a realistic looking CGI baby? Anyway, I'm going off the rails here. That baby was just kind of a jump scare. The fifth game was jump rope. Having sprained her ankle in the maze, Junhee was unable to complete this on her own. Gi-eun accepted her plea to take her daughter with him across the bridge. He also promised that he would come back to get her as well. When he and the baby reached the other side, Junhee begged him not to come back for her, explaining that if he were to die while trying to help her, there wouldn't be anyone to protect her baby. As the game neared its end, Junhee threw herself off the ledge, falling to her death. Junhi's sacrifice was absolutely devastating on its own, but it's even sadder when I think about how much potential she had. Her character felt like such a waste. After giving birth, Junhi had served her only narrative purpose for being written into the story in the first place. In Season 2, she was there to be protected by other characters. In Season 3, she was there to give birth. Part of me felt that Junhi conveniently spraining her ankle so that she physically couldn't complete jump rope was a lazy way to easily dispose of her character, who was essentially nothing more than a mere plot device. Her baby was vital for the plot of the last 3 episodes, literally winning the entire game after Gi-yoon sacrificed himself for her at the end. Once she was born, her mother, who was barely even a character to begin with, was no longer needed. I also just think that Season 3 as a whole did a disservice to many characters who had a lot of potential. Deo is someone that comes to mind because I hated how his death was handled. His confession felt so rushed. It's like the writer needed to get his backstory over with as quickly as possible so that his arc would be complete and Gi-yoon could just kill him off. Still, at least he was an interesting character with a distinct personality. Junhi, unfortunately, just wasn't really. It's kind of hard to believe that someone who wrote such complex, well-rounded characters like Gi-yoon, Sae-byuk, Noel, and Sang-woo also created Junhi, because Hwang Dong-hyuk has proven time and time again that he's more than capable of crafting compelling and interesting characters. Even Mina, who got, 5 minutes of screen time, was given more personality than Junhi, a literal main character who appeared in 10 episodes. This is no hate to the actress, by the way. She genuinely seems like a really cool person and she's really talented. I just wish she had been given better material to work with. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you sticking around for my rant. Whether or not you agree with me, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time.